Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Hush Batman, and this is the black and gray variation. I pre-ordered this guy from the McFarlane toy store, and it finally arrived today. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts, McFarlane Toys, ages 12 plus, DC Multiverse Batman. Here he is in the package. We have a total of 4 hands, 2 batarangs, collector's card, and a display stand. One side, Batman for Batman Hush. Other side, Batman. At the bottom, there's his barcode. And the back, here's Batman from the Hush comic. Now, the Hush Batman is considered by most to be the best Batman out there. Well, maybe not most. Personally, the Nightfall Batman is my favorite, although he's just a tiny bit too small. And the Hush Batman, he's my second favorite, and he's a little bit too large. So, this Batman here should be absolutely fantastic. So no further ado, let's open him up. And I did get 2 of these figures, one of which to open and enjoy, the other one to keep unopened in my complete, unopened, Batman-related action figure collection. And here's the black and gray Hush Batman, next to the original blue and gray version. Then here he is, next to the original black and gray Hush Batman. This is in a 2-pack with Hush, and has a completely different angry expression. And the messed up elbows. Alright, now that this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He comes with a display stand, collector's card, 2 batarangs, and then 2 alternate hands, one of which has a kryptonite ring. But before we take a look at all that, let's talk about and check out the actual figure. So this is Batman, Bruce Wayne. We all know who he is. And this is him in his look from the sort of Hush era. That was before the Rebirth, before the New 52, back in the original continuity. This is just a traditional looking Batman. Big, bulky, beefy bruiser Batman. He's in his black and gray suit, giant bat symbol on the chest, no oval. Utility belt looks fantastic. So let's take a look. Start with his head. Looks great. Ears are short, but not too short. Eyes are white. He has the lenses on. Square jaw. A little bit of an expression sculpted into the top of the brow. Now, the only thing I really don't like is that the head of the neck is one solid piece. This all started with the Year 2 Batman, which was the first one to utilize this body. And it does move pretty nicely considering that, but it makes head swapping pretty much impossible with the majority of other figures, and that frustrates me. Giant bat symbol on the chest. Double jointed elbows, double jointed knees. Cape is big, it's heavy, kind of flowing to one side. It does make him a little bit top heavy, but it's not that hard to stand him up. The belt looks fantastic. I really like the original Hush Batman, and I know I'm really going to like this one. I already am. And a closer look at its face and head sculpt. And then here's the figure broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out the accessories, starting off with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand. Typical McFarlane stand we've seen a bunch of times before. It's a black circle, thin, basic. Now for his collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of Batman. Looks like he's crawling through the sewers. Batman from Batman Hush. On the back there is a description. If you want to read that, pause now. And here are all 3 of the Hush Batman's collector's cards. 2-pack on the left, black and gray in the middle, and then blue and gray on the right. Now let's check out his hands. He has a total of 4 of them, 2 left hands and 2 right hands. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. And a closer look at his kryptonite ring. To take down Superman, Batman has a contingency for everything. And here he is with his second pair of hands. His right hand is a gripping hand, his left hand is open. Now let's look at the batarangs. He has 2 of them. They're done in silver. A typical sort of batarang look. Nice sculpting detail. Shiny silver paint job. Here's Batman holding and getting ready to throw one of his batarangs. Now I wanted to check out the differences between this single black and gray Hush Batman and the blue and gray version. Besides the obvious paint differences, there are no differences. Exact same figure, exact same sculpt, exact same articulation. Which one do you guys like better? The blue or the black? The black one here is a little bit lighter gray. Blue one, darker gray. Pretty much this guy's blue, wherever this guy's black. The belt is slightly different. They both look like a fantastic, normal, modern, iconic Batman. Now that I've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height. And in my personal opinion, the Hush Batman is just a hair too tall. Not by much. From bottom to the top of his head, standing at about 7.3 inches tall, which can translate to 18.5 centimeters. And if you go to the top of the ears, 7.4, maybe 7.5 inches tall. McFarlane almost has 3 different scales going on within the Multiverse line. We have the smaller figures, the medium figures, and the larger figures. This guy's definitely in the larger category. Now for his articulation. Starting with his head, of course, it can rotate from side to side. It can look up and down. It can't look up really at all, but it can look down quite a bit. Tilt his head from one side to the other. Shoulders, the ball joint, goes out a little bit more than 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got a butterfly joint between his shoulder and chest, increasing the range of motion and covering a large gap that would be there. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows. His wrist can rotate and is going to be hinged as well. Ball joint his torso. Rotate around. Forward and back a little bit. Another ball joint his waist. Rotate around. Forward and back. Between the two, very good range of motion in his torso area. A little more out of the waist than the torso on him. Legs completely out of splits. McFarlane style hip joints. Rotation is minimal at best. Legs go forward about that far. Back not much. Double jointed knees below that. And then his ankle, forward and back. Rotate, tilt, rock, and of course, to articulation. Here's a look at Batman in the Batcave, doing research in his lab. And here's a look at Batman on the roofs of Gotham, overlooking, keeping it safe. Here's Batman pummeling Superman with his kryptonite ring. Now let's check him out, next to some other action figures, starting off with some other Hush figures. Here's the single black and gray Hush Batman, next to the single blue and gray Hush Batman. They're the exact same figure, except for the paint job. And here he is, next to the black and gray Hush Batman from the Batman vs. Hush 2-pack. These are the exact same figure, except for a different head, different facial expression, and a little bit different paint job on the belt. Then, next to the Hush Superman, they made 2 versions, a regular one and an angry one with red eyes. Here's Batman, next to Hush himself. They made 3 different variations. We have the single release, the 2-pack release, and the unpainted artist-proof Platinum Chase. Here's McFarlane's entire Batman Hush collection. Only 3 different characters, but we have 8 different figures. Here he is, next to the DC Direct black and gray Hush Batman. And just like McFarlane, DC Direct also made a black and gray and blue and gray version. And here he is, next to the Mafex black and gray Hush Batman. Mafex gave the Hush Batman the same treatment as McFarlane and DC Direct. Now let's check him out, next to some other McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Let's see just how many figures use the same Hush Batman body. Of course, we have all 3 variations of the Hush Batman. But of course, this Hush Batman body debuted with a different figure. This is the Year 2 Batman, the first one to use this body. Then, they used him for the 3 Jokers Batman. They also used this body for the Walmart exclusive Vampire Batman. Then, also for the Two-Face as Batman. They also used this body with the Batman and Spawn 2-pack Batman. And the most recent Batman figure to use this body is from the Batman Who Laughs comic. This is the GameStop exclusive Batman and Raptor 2-pack. This guy also uses the Batman Hush body. Here are all the different Batman figures that share this Hush Batman body. There are 10 of them, and I'm sure more to come. Now let's check them out. Next to some other McFarlane Batman figures. Here he is, next to some earlier McFarlane figures. These are all from the comics. And here, with some more Batman figures. These are also from the comics. Then, next to some more Batman figures. These are from different various forms of media. Now let's check them out. Next to some other Batman sidekicks. Here he is, next to a couple of Nightwing figures, Rebirth, and Titans. And here he is, next to some Tim Drake Robin figures. This is the proper Tim Drake Robin to go with the Hush Batman. And these two scale up pretty good next to each other. Here's Batman, next to a couple of Red Hood figures. And now, with a whole bunch more members of the Bat family. Now let's check him out, next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to the GameStop exclusive Batman and Bat Raptor 2-pack. This is based off the Batman Who Laughs comic. And here he is, next to some recent Walmart exclusive Gold Label figures. Captain Atom, Black Lightning, Vampire Hal Jordan, and Superman. Then, with some recent Target releases, including Supergirl. And now, with the Target exclusive Jokerized Dark Knight Trilogy wave. Here's Batman, next to some more Jokerized figures. And here he is, next to the McFarlane Collector's Edition Wave 2. We have Firestorm, Hawkman, and Sinestro. There's a Platinum Chase variant of Firestorm. I'm on the hunt for him. Then, next to the Amazon exclusive Batman, Clayface, and Batwoman Rebirth 3-pack. And now, with the Amazon exclusive Atomic Skull vs. Superman 2-pack. Here he is, next to the Ultimate Batman Movie 6-pack. And here he is, next to some Entertainment Earth exclusive figures. The Sketch, Rebirth Superman and the Batman Who Laughs. Then the Blacklight, Infinite Frontier, Joker and Scarecrow. Then, with some more Amazon exclusive figures. These are the glow-in-the-dark variations. John Stewart Green Lantern, Swamp Thing, and the Infected Batman. And finally, next to the two most recent McFarlane Mega figures, the Justice Buster and Anti-Monitor. Now let's check them out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in, both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane toy, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work my way smaller. But first, let's check him out with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. And now, with some Jack Specific and some DST or Diamond Select toys. And here he is, next to a container of kosher salt. Then, with some DC Direct and some NECA figures. And now, with both some Mattel and some Jazzwares wrestling figures. Then, with both some Mezco and some Mattel DC figures. And now, with some Mafex and some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And finally, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. So, this Hush Batman is fantastic. The blue-gray Hush Batman is my second favorite Batman figure. The Nightfall Batman is my favorite Batman figure. And here's the main reasons why. Hush Batman looks fantastic. It's a standard, iconic, modern Batman, and that's exactly what I want. But I feel like he's just a little bit too big. I'm also not a fan of the head and the neck articulation being combined into one. If he was like 0.2 inches smaller, he'd be about perfect for what I want. And in turn, if the Nightfall one was about 0.2 inches bigger, he'd also be about perfect for what I want. The Nightfall Batman is specific from the 90s, and I love that era. The Hush Batman is a little more modern, but he's still pre-Rebirth and pre-New 52, but it looks good, and it can easily fit into any of your Rebirth settings. If I were to rate this guy, I'm going to give him a very solid 8 out of 10. If he was a tiny bit smaller, he'd probably be a 9 in my book. Very good figure. Just a couple of small complaints, the height and the head neck thing. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press a like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews of me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.